Welcome to my podcast with Jessica Blessing. How are you today, Jessica?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing excellent. Appreciate the time. I know it's a busy time of the year for you. Let me introduce Jessica to you. Jessica is an independent sales rep for an apparel and footwear company. She does exactly what I do.
Oh yeah, except in a way hotter state right now.
Well, I can go to hot places in my state as well, Jess.
That's true, but you choose to stay where the climate is perfect 24/7.
Well, that is preferable, of course.
Yeah.
I have to go down to my account in Calexico. It'll be 114, 115 down there.
Okay, you got me beat.
Yeah,
so. At least it's not like 80% humidity. So.
But visiting is a completely different thing than living in it.
So
sure. Jessica is a sales rep for the biggest state in continental U.S. in Texas. Just so you know, Jess, every time I start feeling sorry for myself, I go, hold on. I didn't give birth to 2 kids. I don't have 2 kids.
Trying to, pack them on the road.
I cannot complain about my job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes this summer, I even took them with me to some of my appointments because, during the summertime, you don't exactly have a slew of babysitters or school to watch your kids for you. So I just would load them up. I said, y'all are going with me. And they would they're actually making quite the little salesmen. So.
Well, when I brought my daughters out when they were in school, I had the same issue, and I took them out a few times, and my sales always went up.
Mine did too. My daughter, she'll walk up, she'll be like, I really like these pink boots, and of course, I don't know if it's just kind of a mercy buy or what, but they usually end up buying the pink boots she likes. So.
I don't think I could do that all the time, but yeah, that once every summer, my sales popped up a little bit. It was nice.
Oh yeah.
I'm not too ashamed to admit.
Oh, I know. When they're teenagers, it won't be as cute, so I need to milk it while they're little, right?
It depends. It truly depends. As a working mom, you have two children, a husband who's incredibly busy as well.
Oh, yeah.
What do you find? How do you find the balance of staying afloat mentally?
The cocktail at night. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. My friends ask me the same thing because besides, both of our full-time jobs, my husband's also a full-time, he rodeos. Both my kids rodeo. And then we also have a pony riding business where we buy and sell ponies. And then we also raise registered dogs, toy Australian Shepherds. It's just, you just go and do, and you kind of just prioritize. And I mean, I'm not ashamed to say, like, I've been hiring people to help us with the little things around here just because we can't get it all done. At least not here, because I have to focus on my actual job. When the kids are in school, though, it is a little easier, except somehow I got volunteered to coach the soccer team, too. I don't know where the hell I'm going to find time for that, but you just do. I don't even know how we get everything done in one day, but it all works out.
And Jared's helping with the football team.
Yeah, well, he'll take my son to football. He's more of the rodeo coach. So,
okay.
Kane has football on Mondays and Thursdays, and then my son and husband will rope, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then usually go to a rodeo on the weekend, besides the sporting events. And, we just we're just a team. I know when we're often split shifts. So, my daughter had her rodeo queen stuff this weekend. The boys were at a rodeo somewhere else on the other side of the state, and we just kind of met in the middle on Sunday. So, yeah.
And you're not even busy for work yet.
I know, and this is these last 2 weeks have been my slow time.
Yeah.
Slow time meaning I'm more on my computer, organizing my show trailer, and when I leave for Denver Monday, here we go again.
Start all over again.
Start all over again. And what helps, my sister-in-law also does the line of work I do, and so my in-laws are really good about helping pick the kids up from school. And then I have about 10 other friends whose kids go to our school as well, and I'll just call them and be like, hey, I'm not going to make it on time. I need somebody to get them. Somebody will pick them up. We usually find somebody, but often it's our family. So.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, when you're out on the road, how much, well, I know personally because I've been there in Denver next to you when the calls come in, but how much communication are you doing with back home?
Well, it depends on what they're trying to do. So, I've even had calls like, how do we turn the oven on? How do we turn the dishwasher on? I'm like, seriously, you guys can figure that one out. But it's every little thing, because if you think about the stuff that you do on a daily basis without even thinking about it, like school lunches, for example, because that just started again. And I'll have
yeah.
to, I'll call my husband, or I often text him too, and just say, hey, don't forget this, this, and this. And as my brain gets to racking all day, I'll think of other things, or with my in-laws too, and just, or hell, I'll even have, throughout the day, I get people calling me about ponies and puppies, on our little side deals, and or asking about rodeos when those are starting. And it's just a constant, it's a constant communication. There's no way I could write down on a sheet of paper before I left everything that needs to be done and feel confident that it would get done,
Well, imagine, I talk to, you've been doing this for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
Imagine life before cell phones.
I thought about that. I remember when I had a pager, and you could spell hello upside down with little numbers. And I was thinking, I was like, how would we have done this? How would I have even found my stores? Like, I use the GPS on my cell phone.
I know.
I would be a lost unit without it. I guess I would just have to know my roads, but right now I just follow my GPS, and often I think about, I'm like, if this thing broke right now, I would have no earthly idea where I'm at.
That's always the negative, It's like, if you get caught without technology. I told you one time I'd left my phone in my wife's car as she was dropping me off to go to Denver. And it was that one trip where we went there for one day. Remember that? It was a one-day trip because it was a small season, so we just went real quick.
Yep,
it was like just one overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was charging up my phone in the car because I wanted to be 100% when I got to the airport, and I left it in the car. And I'm like, oh, shit. So we leave and all that, and I landed in Denver. Sounds easy. How would you call the shuttle, Jess?
Yeah, or anybody else to come get you.
Yeah. You would find the payphone, which is what I had to do.
Do they have payphones?
Yeah, they have free payphones at Denver Airport, just so you know, by baggage claim.
Oh, I didn't know that. And
so you dial 0 for operator and say, I need the Aloft in Aurora. It was like, and then like our boss was texting us, hey, we're going to meet here, this and that. And I'm like, I didn't get any of those messages because I didn't have my phone.
Yeah, you just lose. It's almost like you just become in your own little bubble.
Yeah. It's kind of a bizarre, it's bizarre. I still remember because I'm slightly older than you, but I remember being a sales rep, not, and same thing, having a pager was a big thing because it would be 911. I would have to get off the freeway and then find a payphone and use my calling card, my company calling card. So I didn't have to put in quarters or get charged, and then call back to the office to find out what the 911 was.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I haven't been.
And then many times it was like, oh, we figured it out. I'm like, hold on. You made me just get off the freeway, find a payphone.
Did you see that thing on Facebook with all the young kids taking pictures of them next to the payphone? Like, it's like it's like a antique piece now to this kid. Yeah.
I had to show my daughters how to use a map, like a real map. Like, okay, find the address, find G6, and then go over to G6 with the coordinates, and then find the street within there. That's how we used to have the Thomas guide, the big books, map books. And I saw one.
Yeah.
I saw one in the store. I was like, girls, how would you get around? Show me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, my kids, there's no way. There is no flipping way. My husband used to always keep a Rand McNally in our trucks.
Yeah.
He's old school. He says, if we ever need it. Well, my daughter turned it into a big coloring book, so you couldn't even see the roads anyways. So
that's the a lot of people complain about technology and this and that, but I mean, it's made our lives a lot easier.
And I find myself, I'm guilty of it, and I talked to my husband about it. I find myself on my phone all the time, and I need to not, like, I'm always I check my emails, social media. Your friends are always texting. Kind of the thing. Everyone wants to talk by text now, and it drives me crazy. But, I've got to and it's almost like I'm addicted to it because when I put it away or leave it in the house to go do something outside, all I can think about is, man, I wonder if so-and-so called me, or if I wonder if, you almost want it on your hand or in your pocket with you all the time.
That's they call that FOMO.
I don't know what it is, but I need to reduce my phone time.
FOMO. It's an acronym for fear of missing out.
That might be it. I don't know what the heck I'm going to miss out on, more work, but
I know.
I know.
Well, like you said, you have your dog stuff, you have your pony stuff, you have soccer, you have football, you have rodeo, husband, family. So
it's almost like I think
tough.
I'd probably be better off just by throwing my phone out the window and for a few days. I'd probably get a lot more done, actually.
Okay. You let me know how that works out.
I get the physical stuff done that needs to be done outside instead of sitting there, chit-chatting.
Yeah.
I do. So
I'm good with I feel like I'm pretty good. I have to check my social media, and then I check, the work stuff, and then I have to be on my computer because that's how I process orders and get emails on the weekends, even for work and all that. So it's like, I don't know, it'd be interesting, if you go a week without your phone. Imagine that.
No, I want to try it. Of course, we probably get fired. It might not work in our favor. At least when people go to Mexico and have no cell service, you're kind of like, that might be all right. Just kind of leave your phone in the States and go on with it.
I remember I used to go camping with Vastine, and some of the places we went to, there's no cell signal.
Man, that'd be nice.
Yeah, no phone, and you're not missing out on anything because you can't access it. You know what I mean? But the sucky part is when you start coming back down the hill, because when you go up to Sequoia, oh my God! As soon as it got into cell signal, ding 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 ding. Oh shit! You mean they all didn't just disappear? Yeah, exactly. And there's additional text and email saying, "Did you receive this?
Are you okay? Why aren't you answering my call?" Yeah.
So that's the pleasant positives. What do you when you're on the road, what do you enjoy doing for free time?
You're gonna laugh. If I get about an hour just to lay down and watch a movie, that is like pure joy for me. I never get to do that. So I laugh. Like because usually I travel I have a pretty good sized show trailer. It's probably 28 foot. So the back is a big showroom. The front is a living quarters.
Right.
I often will sit there and catching up on just little emails that I've been working on or spreadsheets. If I just get that quiet time there's nothing else I could be doing besides work because I'm, either parked at a KOA camp, plugged in somewhere, or I'm at a hotel. So if I can get my emails caught up and if I can lay down and watch TV, even if it's for like 30 minutes, it is just awesome. Well, and dinner, like if you get room service or if you can stop and get something good that you never, like sushi. Yeah. There's, our options for sushi out here in Wise County are not exactly stellar. So, like if I can get something different to eat that I normally don't get to eat or, and I enjoy visiting with my friends. Like I'm a constant, like if I'm driving from here to Houston, in those 6 hours, I will be talking nonstop to somebody. Just because I'm trying to catch, and it's usually one of y'all, because it's usually somebody I work with that understands the craziness of what we're doing every day. And then podcasts. I enjoy, if I get really into a storyline or something, I cannot wait to get in the car and finish what's going on with the story. So.
I hear you. I've spent many of hours talking to you, Joey, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I get the text, what are you doing? I'm like, what you're doing.
They're bored. Well, it's really bad when it's, so like if it's a really odd hour of the day, of course, I can't call you when it's 6 in the morning and I'm driving because it's 4 your time. But like so then I'll try Joey or somebody who I think may be up, just because you're so bored, you're like, all right, who else can I talk to right now? But
yeah, I think the last I talked to Joey for about 3.5 hours because he was driving home to Alabama and he had like a 6-hour drive or something like that, and it was like midnight his time, it was 10 my time, and I was by the time we got done. So I was driving up north. I was driving up to Paso that day, or Salinas. And
my friends always say, sometimes my friends will say, "What do you do? It's so much fun. It sounds so easy." I'm like, "Oh, you just come on the road with me for a day and see what you think."
Well, that's I get that too.
But I enjoy it, but it's not as easy as people think it is. It's not. And you have to be very self-motivated for sure.
Well, I always tell people, there was an office person that works in our office, and she was complaining about how much the sales reps make. And she was an office hourly person.
Yeah.
And one of the bosses said, "Well, if you want, I'll remove your salary and you go out there and make what you want." "Oh no, I need steady income." Well, you don't get that with.
No.
It's the give and take. I tell people, my territory is California, basically Southern California and Hawaii. "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm very fortunate." At the same time, I could go to Hawaii and have an account not show up.
And then you're out lots of money. Yeah.
Yeah. Which has happened. I went to my Maui store and the buyer called in sick that day.
I guess you lay on the beach. That's a really expensive business trip. Yeah.
I flew 2,000 miles. How sick is she?
Yeah, she better be dying.
Because do you want me to send flowers somewhere? What are we talking here?
Yeah, what are we, how sick are you? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's when I was pregnant with, both kids, I traveled up until like the bitter end. But Callie, I remember I was at a store, it was a Monday. I mean, that was huge. And the store's like, "When are you due?" I'm like, "Wednesday." And they're like, "What? Why are you out here?"
Exactly.
Yeah. I was like, "Hey, listen, if I don't work, I don't make a paycheck. So I am working until I can't not work." So, and then as she was 2 weeks old, I dropped her off at my mother-in-law's. I'd go see accounts, come right back. I just couldn't. I was like, you can't just not work. There's no maternity leave. You know what I mean? When you're a sales rep, unless you want to give it to yourself, but then you're going to suffer months later because you're always booking futures. So.
Never. And that was the thing I was going to ask. I like I said at the beginning, I can complain about my job. I'm like, "Oh, I got to drive down to Calexico today," which it's LA traffic. Then I have to actually literally go through San Diego traffic and then get out to my store. And then I have to, if I don't want to spend the night in Calexico, which no one wants to spend the night in Calexico, I have a 100-mile drive back to San Diego.
Ooh.
So it's a 450, 500-mile day.
Yeah.
Of LA, of California traffic. Not.
Yeah, I'm out on that. Yeah.
Not Paradise, Texas traffic.
I was gonna say we got one stoplight, so take that.
So I have those days, and then I go, hold on, just was pregnant, driving a 28-foot trailer
with a semi. I had the semi for a long time. I had the semi until with Kane, I got so big though, because you have to really push that clutch down to start and stop it. And at one point, I remember I was so big behind the steering wheel, I couldn't reach my foot down far enough to get the clutch down far enough because I had to sit so far back. So then I was like, all right, well, hell, now I got to travel out of the car. Well,
you have to get some platform shoes just to drive your semi.
I mean, I would climb in and out of this truck, and people would just look at me like I was crazy. Now, granted, he was he was almost 10 pounds. So, I mean, I was just, he was just
full.
big. I looked very full. But then I would go waddling into my stores carrying those card bins that we have. And I didn't have it. I'd throw a gear bag on my shoulder and I'd pull my dolly into the store. And I mean, these people thought I was trying to kill myself. I said, y'all, I'm not dying. I'm pregnant. I can pack all this stuff around and be fine. And they would just laugh at me. And then the day before I had him, we were at the house, trying to get ready. And we had a guy trimming trees. Well, I go out there not thinking about it. I'm moving tree branches around, throwing them in the pile. And this guy, they're like, what are you doing? I was like, why is everybody treating me like I'm made of glass? It drove me crazy. And then with Callie, same deal. They said, well, you can't travel. I was about a month before my due date. They said, hey, you can't be traveling far from the house. I said, well, Dr. Smith, we got a problem because I cover half the state. So,
yeah, I was going to say, Dr. Smith, can you come with me?
Yeah, either you come with me or I'm just going to find out where the hospitals are along the road. Well, then it got 2 weeks before my due date. I still had to do the northeast part of Texas. And my husband, there was about 4 big accounts I really needed to see. And so I told my husband, I was like, hey, you've got to take these days off work. And I said, just bring Kane with you. And I said, let's go. And so we stayed in that show trailer. And
that's insane.
It was so funny, though. He would walk up and just be like, are we done yet? It was just because he was a toddler then. He didn't know. And we would go camp. And we had a blast. We actually did. And I would know where the hospitals were just in case, whatever.
But you had to.
I said, they don't just deliver babies in Wise County. I said, I could have it anywhere, just not Oklahoma. That was against the rules, but as long as it was in Texas, we were okay. But yeah, I mean, you just do. And then now that the kids are older and old enough to go with me every once in a while in the summer, I like to we always at least do one overnight trip together, just one of them and me. So, like, I remember Callie went with me, and we stayed in East Texas, and we had a blast. You know, we rented a movie. We went to dinner at Chili's. You know, we camped at the KOA. We always just kind of, the kids really enjoy that. And they enjoy these little moments, because someday what mom does isn't going to be cool to them anymore. They're going to think it's pretty lame, and they're going to want to be a race car driver or something. I don't know. But, yeah, so my friends always say, you better value this now when they think mom's job is pretty cool. So. Well,
and like, I don't think my daughters ever thought my job was cool. You know, they thought it was cool that I could schedule my appointments and schedule around kind of their schedule.
Right.
So, like when they were in the heart of lacrosse season, I was able to kind of make things work a little bit better. You know, which is, that's the one big bonus I think of our job is I can go, God, you know, they've got the big rivalry game on Thursday. I'm not going to schedule to be in San Jose on Thursday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like we have homecoming coming up, and I know that since this is my son's first year at football, I was like, okay, I cannot miss. We call it Panther Mania, you know, where they introduce all the players and. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was like, I cannot miss that. So
you could, but you'd be a bad mom. I gotcha.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have my moments. Like, I miss the Christmas party usually every year, and the Valentine's party. I mean, I'm usually gone for that stuff, but for the most part, I try to be part of the big moments. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That to me, that's the stuff you kind of have to. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because if I didn't do it now, I'd be so mad at myself in the future if I didn't. And Roper and like our company that we work for is awesome because they understand family. You know what I mean?
Usually.
They get it easily. They love it. They get it. And when even when Callie did her rodeo queen thing this last weekend, you know, and Roper she had to sell so many tickets per se for her competition, and Roper, you know, bought quite a few from her to help her with her competition, and they always just kind of support the kids and what they do, which is awesome. In fact, my son, one of the saddles he ropes out of that he won for all around was a saddle that Roper actually sponsored that saddle at their youth rodeo, which was cool. So,
but that's the other thing too. Is like as I've gotten older, you know, I got offered a position with a competing company of ours, and on the outside it was more money,
right?
You know, and it wasn't a lot more money, and it was like, but then I would have to do daily reports, like daily, and I'm like, I don't have to do daily reports, you know, so I make a little bit less, but my lifestyle is a little bit better, so. That's to me, that's the balance. That when I was in my 30s, it was always about making more money.
Yeah, you know, money can't buy happiness. Yeah. Yeah,
so if someone was going to offer me $1,000 more a month, I'm gone. You know, but now I'm like, hold on, what's my sanity worth? You know, what's
my friends ask me that all the time. They're like, what can give, Jess? Like, 'cause you're so busy. What can give? I was like, right now, nothing. I said I made the list and nothing's going to give. I haven't been working out as much as I should. As I've gotten older, you know, your clothes don't fit like they should, and you're kind of like, gravity is not my friend. Yeah. But you're like, okay, that's the only thing that can give because every other priority I have, I don't have wiggle room. You know, there is no wiggle room.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, and that is the glory of working independently. Like you may have a week where you put in 60 hours. I mean, you are busting it.
Yeah.
And then you have a week like this week where I'm at home, you know, doing office days, catching up. That way, when I do hit the road again, you know, I feel organized and ready. So. Well,
yeah, and that's I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like that's the great part about our job is, you know, this week I'm going to get my samples back. I'm going to clean up my garage, clean up my truck, get my truck worked on. You know, get the oil change on it this week and all that.
Yeah.
That way, next week when I'm gone for 3 days, basically, come back, start putting the samples away, load everything back up, and get back out on the road.
Yeah, I have a girl hired for Thursday. She's a good friend of mine, and she's done it the last few seasons. She kind of knows the routine. So while one of us is packing the show trailer, the other one's cleaning it, organizing. I mean, we have it ready to roll. You know.
Does she want to visit, or does she ever visit California?
Just fly her out there. I'm sure she would. Yeah. Alexa, if you're listening, there you go. Yeah.
Exactly. I'll take it.
Yeah, I always have. Like I've had a few girls over the years that have helped, and it makes it so much nicer. Especially once you get them, they kind of figure out like how these line breaks work, and how to hang them. Man, it's awesome.
I mean, I always joke because my daughter was a personal assistant for 2 years, and I always joked with her saying, "That's exactly what I need in my life." You know, it's like someone just to go up to the dry cleaners to pick up my stuff. All the stuff you kind of just like you're busy, right?
Yeah.
And then there's going up to the UPS store, doing this, doing that would be awesome.
Just little errands, yeah.
Yeah.
And I told Jared, man, if I could find somebody to clean stalls and add a few more deals to the list, I mean, we'd be set. So
come and sell a few more dogs. You'll be there.
I know. I just move an RV out here, let somebody live out here and help us.
You got the space.
We do have the space. We for sure have the space. So
just do a little guest ranch or whatever, guest house.
You know, there's an RV park down the road. I could totally just put somebody over there. I've thought. Don't get me wrong. I've thought about it. I have thought about it. So.
Because summer is just busy for you, I would imagine, because you got Jared's trying to do rodeo and Callie's being a queen, and
yeah, we have the kids' youth. There's a bunch of youth rodeos, and just and last year, you know, Jarrett was able to make the finals, and so he was gone most of the summer.
Yeah.
This year he was gone a bunch, and then his good horse got really hurt, and then Jarrett got hurt, and so both of them were down, and so they were home the last few weeks of summer, and I mean, it was a nice change for us to actually have them home. You know, because normally we go up to Cheyenne, Sheridan, we make that kind of run, you know, up north. This year we were home all summer, and it was different for us because we normally aren't. But it was a lot of fun. We put up a above ground pool. We'd swim, we'd rope, we just were here just kind of hanging out. And that was a different pace for us, but I enjoyed it. So.
Well, that is nice.
Yeah.
You get some of the freedom with the job. What's a great story for you?
As far as like,
if you were gonna like, people say, "Hey, Jess, what do you do for a living?" And you tell them, "Oh, I'm a sales rep for a apparel company and this and that." Oh, that must be fun. What's the favorite place you visited? What's your favorite trip? What have you seen that blew you away?
You know, I have one story when we first, and you'll appreciate this because you know this girl. So Casey Hagan, when she first got hired, they sent her on a road trip with me. We decided I was going to take her down like around Conroe, around that whole like kind of north of Houston run, you know.
Yeah.
First stop was, you know, we made a stop at one of the stores, worked the line. On our way down, she'd never had sushi, so we stopped and had sushi, and she's, you know, her to this day, she eats a ton of it now. But then we pulled into this KOA camp it was at Lake Conroe. I forget the name of the KOA camp. And we look over, and they had something there called a human pillow. Have you seen that thing?
No.
It's it looks like a pillow. It's a giant, it's monstrous. So it's like the size of a house. But it's blown up, and you jump on it. Well, we get to jumping on this thing. Well, if you jump one side and someone jumps the other, you shoot that other person clear up in the air. And so we had more fun at this KOA camp, just bouncing around like little kids, you know. I mean, that whole trip was a blast. And every time I go on these trips, like, I need to get better about stopping and looking at, because I kind of take the same routes. You know how you kind of get you get the same routine, same hotel, same. It's always exciting though when I do see a new hotel or I stay in a new one and it is amazing. So I always make a note, you know, come back here. And I'm lucky, like where you probably have a lot of overnights in your territory.
Yeah.
I have a fair amount, but nothing like what a lot of the reps do because I cover half the state of Texas. So my furthest account is 6 hours. Within 3.5 hours, I hit a large majority of my accounts. And so I can, I call it like the spiderweb effect. Like I can spiderweb it from my house, you know, and go up and back and hit 2 or 3 accounts a day. Yeah. So
I use my house as the hub of a spoked wheel.
That's mine.
Because I'm almost dead center.
Yes, that is exactly how mine is. And so I'm able to just, I just go back and forth. And it's funny. So I was laughing. I would get pictures taken of this too. So when I was driving a semi all the time, and I have that big roper trailer.
Yep.
Well, when you go to a small town school, the parking lots are pretty big, and there's pastures around us and stuff. But I'm always late, because my kids don't ever get up in time. And
blame the kids.
yeah, and I'm always trying to. Yeah, it's just so here I come wheeling in 9:0 into the school parking lot with the semi and the roper trailer, and of course everyone's looking at me because you can't be nonchalant when you have when you're gearing down. And my kids are always embarrassed every time they wheel in the roper trailer. They're like, "Oh, Mom." I'm like, "Come on, we got this. Let's just go." And I remember one day the principal was like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "That'd be me." Yeah.
And why is she?
What is she doing? Why does she drive that big rig? So, and the truckers, you really get some looks, especially when I was pregnant, waddling in there with your semi truck and your show trailer. Of course, where you
that's
live,
something I can't even imagine.
You cannot even do that where you're at. I mean, it's just there's no way. So,
no.
And when I
first started,
Houston, there's no way.
They were saying, "Hey, you should get a trailer and this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I started going, "No way." A semi with no.
No, there's where you're at. There's just no physical way that you could.
So some of the Wrangler guy, he has a Sprinter, like a long Sprinter van.
Oh yeah,
and that works out. But yeah, the I don't know. I'm trying to think. The Cinch drives around in a truck. I don't think anybody I know drives around in a rig like you guys do.
Out in Texas is kind of the norm. Yeah, they all have the big. Well, I mean, there's quite a few show trailers. I thought about the Sprinter van thing if I ever did downsize, but we have so much product. Well,
That's what I look at it and just go, it's the how much more would I make versus the payment on it.
Exactly.
Is it going to pay for itself? Yeah, over time, just about anything would. But am I going to make considerably more by stepping up to that level? I don't know.
Right. I don't know. That's a hard one.
That's always been, because I have one big account. So that one big account's not going to come out to a trailer. That doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way for me either on our bigger accounts. On some of them. Some of them use it, some of them don't. A lot of my stores like it because they can see everything. I have it set up pretty good. Of course, the parking lot, everything that I go to for the most part has room for me to park. Where you're at, not so much.
Well, yeah, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
But that's always the catch. It's interesting because I've had so many great stories too with and it's not just going out. It's always the people. I remember riding. I swore off riding mechanical bulls when I was 31 because I was in the construction industry at the time, and we went to a trade show in Dallas, and I went to Gillies, and I got on mechanical bull, and I was completely hammered drunk. I mean, blotto drunk.
Yeah.
I get on the bull, and maybe I said something stupid to the guy controlling it. I don't know. But
I'm trying to sling you off of it.
No, he didn't try. He did. And I pulled the groin muscle on the left side of my leg, on my left leg.
Oh, no.
And it hurt so bad that night. I was like, man, I'm drunk, and it really hurts. So the next day I woke up, I could barely get up out of bed. I could literally barely pull my leg out of bed. So 20 years later, probably 18 years later, I'm at the MGM Gold Buckle Zone for NFR, obviously. And they had that's back when we used to run the Gold Buckle Zone. You remember that? We had the stage, and Joe Nichols was doing the autographs upstairs.
Yeah.
They had the mechanical bull down there, and Clay Trying says, "You got to get on the bull." And I'm like, "Oh man, I can't do that." He goes, "No." So I get on the bull. He gives me his hat. He goes, "If you're gonna ride a bull, you got to wear a hat." I didn't have a hat on, and I was like, "Oh man."
Gosh.
So, but the one thing I learned in my older age is it's okay to just let go. Because in my early 30s, I was like, man, I got this. I'm gonna hang on. Man, you get into your 40s, you're like, nah, it pits me. I'm good.
That's why you're the one that we sit like this last year. We walked up and you could see the mechanical bull down there. And we walked up, we just sat there and watched it for a minute because just the people that would get on that were they could hardly walk straight, let alone, like their friends would be trying to hoist them up there, you know?
Yeah.
Their butt cracks hanging out the back of their pants.
Well, that's the Grizzly Rose in Denver has the duel. Have you been there?
No.
Oh, you got to go to the Grizzly Rose. I can't believe you haven't gone.
Rose? I don't know what that. I don't remember.
They have dual matching mechanical bulls.
Oh, no, I've never seen that.
So you and your buddy can go on, and the bulls do the exact same thing. So there's no, he was rougher with you or with me. It's you and your buddy can go up and ride bulls at the same time, and it does the exact same thing. So who's better?
That's awesome.
And I did that with Bailey Fastine, and then Hunter and Joey did it.
Oh my God.
And I have video of that, so I'll share that with you next week.
You will have to share that with me. I would like to see that.
It's pretty good. As Hunter was hat slapping the ass of the mechanical bull.
How about Joey was hanging on with two hands? Okay.
Joey did pretty good. He wasn't drunk yet.
Yeah.
So it was that, and then they have the roping area in the back of that place.
I have been to that. Yeah, I've been to that part. That's another great thing about what we do is like these events. Granted, we have to work the events during the day, but we get, it's so much fun seeing everybody and meeting these people at the events. That's one thing I do love too. That especially like NFR, I look forward to that every year. And even
now, hold on a sec.
Now, I'm not there the whole time like you are.
There you go.
Let me scratch that. I'm there for about half the show, and it's a perfect amount of time. Now, if I was there for the 3 weeks y'all were there, I think I'd be pretty sick of Vegas. So
I always tell people, I'm like, they're like, oh, you're so lucky you get to go to Vegas for the rodeo. I'm like, for one, anytime staying in a hotel room for 16 days sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It just sucks. Now put you in Vegas where you have things to do, but they all cost money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't come home with. Yeah, you're like, okay, if I make this much today, how much am I allowed to spend for dinner and drinks? And then you end up spending all of it. You're like, crap, I didn't make any money today, and so you have to try again.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what it's like because like you have to go off the strip to I mean, when McDonald's meals cost you $10, $12, the buffet's $40, $50, $60.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't like eating crappy food. So
what do? You want to eat good food, then you're paying $40, $50, $60 for a meal.
I remember. Except for that pizza place downstairs at MGM. That place is reasonable.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's a really good pizza place in Cosmopolitan, too.
I don't venture out very often. We'd either be at MGM or South Point. That's kind of where our stops were. So. But
if you're there and Jared's there, he's doing something,
Yeah, well, he was working for us this last year.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was working men's footwear. And then we sent him over to women's footwear while we were eating lunch, and he said, Jessica, never again.
Yeah.
He's like, they would try on every cotton picking shoe and boot, and they wouldn't even buy one. Men would just walk up and say, I need a size 10. You'd hand it to them, and off they went. So.
I always tell my stores, I learned so much working at NFR and appreciate what they do at retail. And it makes me never, ever want to work retail. Oh,
I'm with you. Yeah. Because I'm usually in either kids' footwear or women's footwear, and usually every shoe they want's on the bottom of the stack. I said I feel like I've done like 100 squats, just up and down, getting the shoes out.
The killer for me is
the kids, though. I do love the kids.
The kids are fun. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so much fun. Yeah.
I'm with Jared where the women are. I've had women almost a full size too big of a boot. And they're like, that's the wrong size. Oh, no, it fits. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, no, well, I want to wear it tonight, so I want to make sure it's loose.
When your feet swell up.
I'm like, but you're never going to wear them again because they don't fit you. And they would buy them.
Oh, yeah.
$400 later. I'm like, all right.
I know. Yeah.
Or they're too small. They'll break. No, they're too small. No, they'll be fine. Oh, okay.
Funny. Yeah, we have, we're usually there over at the Cowboy Christmas. We're in busy. Yeah, we are slammed. And it, especially that last day, and they do the
vendor sale.
The vendor sale and the Saturday push with everybody there, and it is, by the time the booth shuts down, we were laughing because, I mean, it looked like a bomb went off because people were just, it's almost like a frenzy at the very last minute, the last day of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, my last day, because Mandalay Bay closed on Saturday, and then so Sunday I go over and help sell at the Sands, which is now going to be the Rio, I guess. But so I'd always go over there, and then they put me in the bargain booth on the last day.
Mhm.
Have you ever been in the bargain booth?
No. Because
you don't have one at LVCC.
No.
It's literally all the stuff you can't even sell at the warehouse sale that they bring in to the bargain booth, and it's unbelievable because people are just it's like a TJ Maxx on steroids with on Black Friday.
Oh my gosh!
Because it's always good sales, and then on the last day they always do even better, at 40% off, 50% off, whatever.
Just get rid of it. Yeah.
People are just literally leaping over stuff to get to that box to make sure no one takes it. And I had a lady, there was probably a stack of 10 Hall boots, 8 high, and she took the one off the bottom and all 7 on top fell over. So I'm like, before I could get over to the 7 that fell over, people were going through the ones that fell over to see if there was a size in there.
So they could fit.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even have to clean it up. They're just going to take them.
That is awesome. Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, our deal is organized chaos, I guess, compared to that. But it is chaos.
No, we're the same way. Mandalay Bay is a little bit slower than LVCC, but like on the weekends we have lines going out the booth too. So it's always fun. There are so many good parts about our job. I mean,
oh, I love it. I love it. I like being different every day. I tell my friends that there's those that have to sit in a cubicle and work on a computer every day, and I'm just not that type of person. I have to be busy and doing, and so I say every day I'm looking out that windshield. Every day is different. Every view is different, and so and it makes me happy. Like I enjoy when I go on certain trips, I'm like I'm excited to go,
Well, that's why I'll end up in Parkfield, and you'll be like, hey, and I'm like, because I'm always looking for different roads. So I don't take the same road every time, and I stayed at the Madonna Inn in San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
Because I drive by it every time, and I never stay there because it's always kind of in between.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay there this time.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was cool.
Yeah. I need to get better about doing that. I'm very. It feels like I'm regimented on my routes just because I know these. I've used the same routes so many times. I do need to get better about. Of course, granted, there's just X amount of roads that you want to take in Texas. There's, you're going straight for so long, but yeah,
I was going to say you also have a much bigger rig than I do.
Yeah, I mean this one. I mean I sold the semi. We bought a different dually, so it's not exactly small.
28-foot trailer.
Or 28-foot trailer, and then when I'm not pulling the rig, I'm using I have a Suburban that I've taken the back seat out, and I just fill it up with everything that I need. So.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the time of the year. Like this next season is actually a really good time for me because it'll be September or early October.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it'd be a little bit cooler in the hot areas, down the valleys and Central Valley, Bakersfield and Porterville. But then I can get up into Sequoia a little bit and hit some of the pine trees up there, and some of the rivers will be running if we get a little bit of rain. And so,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and that's I just try and schedule in a few extra hours.
I'll just be excited when the man-eating bugs kind of go away for a while.
The man-eating bugs.
June bugs aren't smacking you in the head at night. We
don't have that problem, thankfully.
No, you don't. Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh.
what do you what? I mean, this is a new question for my guests. I was just thinking about it over the weekend. How did you end up where you're at now?
Oh gosh.
And you know, when you were in high school or college age, did you go, hey, someday I want to be an outside sales rep?
No, that wasn't planned. Let's see, I rode horses and loved the horse side of things, the Western, rodeo, that kind of stuff. I wanted to work in some kind of horse type industry. And so that's where I started off. I was with Professional's Choice doing road shows for them all over the college. I traveled all over. And then I got hired on by Equibrand, so I moved to Texas because I was originally from California.
Yeah.
Many moons ago. I got hired on by Equibrand, and I did the Texas-Oklahoma in-house sales for them. And then I got someone with a company back in the day, it was called Cowboy Decor. They called me, asked if I was interested in sales rep, and I was like, I've done everything but that. So I took that job on, and that progressed to another company, and then I ended up with Roper. Once I got to going with it, I really liked it. When I had the in-house sales job, I loved the people I worked with. I did not love sitting still at a desk and talking on the phone all day. It's not my thing. But apparently driving around like a circus clown is my thing, and I love it.
But now you have your wonderful kids to always bring you home.
Oh yeah, and it's rewarding too. Like when you're working towards something, you're like, okay, these, because my husband's an ag teacher, and he's more of the stable income, stable schedule. When you're trying to figure everything out. My schedule is, okay, I'll be like, okay, this month, where are y'all going? What's the plan? And then I say like, okay, so now I need to schedule my routes around their set schedule, and it just works. I mean, it works. It's crazy organized chaos is what it is. So,
looking back, do you ever see yourself being able to do something different?
No.
I mean, because like for me, the job I have now is exactly where I needed to be. Relationships. Right. I call what we do relationship sales.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not just selling a car. I'm not going to see you one time and I got to make the sale. It's,
no, because they depend on you. Yeah, your stores depend on you to help them make business decisions.
And I'm going to see you in a few months, and if I give you something bad, you're not going to buy something from me next time.
Right. Yeah, and often too, like now that I'm 10 years into this job, you become close to these people, and then like when some pass away or when they have their babies, or you almost become like a little family.
Yep.
And you care about these people, and you want their businesses to do good. You're not going to sell them a bunch of junk that you think is going to hurt their business at the end. And they realize that because they have had reps in the past.
I was going to say, those reps are out there.
Those reps are out there, and they'll bulk sell them to get the sale. And they don't care if it sells or not. They wanted that instant dollar. And then, and then those accounts suffer. But, so it's I never would have thought I would be doing, I always thought I was going to be a veterinarian at first. And then I thought I was going to work like on a horse farm or at a breeding farm. But I'm glad my turn of events took me to this point. So.
Well, I think that's what I always tell my daughters. When my daughters graduated college, they were kind of freaked out because they're like, we don't know what we want to do with our lives. And I'm like, join the crowd.
Yeah.
But because we went to, I remember this vividly. I was having dinner with, or lunch with my youngest, Allison, and she's like, I don't know. I'm like, hey, so what do you think about doing? And I go, Allie, look around this restaurant. Doesn't matter if they're 60, 70, 30, 20, 40, 50, whatever. No one's got to figure it out.
No.
Because everyone's trying to, like, I got to figure out where I'm at now, but where am I going to be in 3 years? Oh, I got, who knows,
Yeah. And things happen, like,
the economy.
The economy, like, remember the economy, a few years back when the oil, for me, the oil.
Yeah.
Bombed, and it hurt. It
affected
hurt.
mine, too.
Yeah, it affected mine a lot. And so, you have those deals, and you just prep for that, and put money aside for emergency funds, and but it's super rewarding to be self-employed. I love it. For me, I like not having a ceiling.
Yeah.
And then I like being able to push myself. So
that's a good way of looking at it, actually.
Yeah, I like the ceiling. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was going to say I like the for me, I like you were saying, I couldn't sit. Could I? Yes, I could sit in an office if I had to. I just would not ever want to.
No. And I'm like, they always say I'm wound up like an 8-day week because I cannot, I'm fidgety. You see me at the sales meetings, I shake my leg, or probably it's because I'm eating a pound of candy because they have those candy bowls sitting right in front of me. But besides that, and then I'll be drinking a caffeinated drink in the morning, and they're like, that is the last thing you need. But,
I know.
Yeah, I just don't sit still. And I think that's what makes me good at what I do, because I like to go and do and be, and, I'm just moving. And I always told somebody, when I stop loving what I'm doing, then I shouldn't be doing it anymore. But, I've done the sales rep thing. I've been doing that for 14 years, and I love it, and I still love it, through the ups and downs. And so I hope that, you see those reps that are really old doing it. You always wonder, like, how long will the sales rep era go? Because things are starting to switch to more technical, like,
yeah,
a lot of online stuff, a lot of, I just hope that, the handshake and the face-to-face thing never dies. So
that's going to be interesting, because even in Las Vegas, I can tell you from my wife, she was a waitress there, and now they're changing where they're getting less waitresses, and they just got rid of service bartenders. It's going to be a machine. When you sit at a blackjack table or a poker table, and they go, would you like a drink? And you go, yeah. And they would go get a drink. That's now going to come out of a machine, because they're firing all of their service bartenders.
That's weird.
So that waitress is going to go back there and plug in that you want a Jack and Coke, and that the machine's going to make a Jack and Coke, and she's going to bring it back. You know what I mean? But they literally got rid of a whole group of employees because of that.
That's wild.
So if you were a bartender and you're like, hey, I got a job, that they're never going to, they're always going to serve alcohol in Vegas. That's right. But they're not always going to need you to do it.
No. I know. You wonder, when you hear about now, even on Amazon, where those little drones dropping the package off at your porch.
Yeah.
And you're like, we'll have little robots. Of course, granted, in Paradise, Texas, there's a little robot running down the road. Pretty sure it's going to get smashed.
You're going to get shot.
Or shot, yeah, by a tractor or something. But, or if a drone's flying over your house, pretty sure someone's going to shoot it down. But you just wonder, like, what, I just hope like I said, the handshake, the face-to-face deal, because people text more, and people don't talk on the phone as much. I just hope that doesn't die. I love talking face-to-face, and to me, a handshake, if someone, shakes my hand and says, yes, I'm going to do this, I assume they're going to do it,
It's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting. It will be definitely interesting. Hell, I use Facebook and stuff, but me and my husband just got an Instagram, and, like, he just very recently got Snapchat. We both cannot figure out how to use it. But, like, the kids, we had some friends of ours, kids living with us for a short while, and, they were teenagers, and, they had Snapchat, I don't know all the different ones, but it blew my mind at how many different outlets there were to communicate with somebody without actually communicating with them. So,
I get into that with not just my daughter, with my wife, with at a certain point, you got to pick up the phone.
Yeah, talk to them.
Even in, like, just dealing with your kids, I realized, even when my kids were in high school, I realized it's not cool to pick up the phone. And so they would want to text me instead of pick up the phone and talk, oh, you got to talk to your dad. But I'm like, when I say pick up the phone, that means pick up the phone.
Yeah, that means call me.
Yeah.
So.
It means I know you want to be cool, but you're not going to be any less cool if I take the phone away from you.
That's so funny. Yeah, my kids already, at 6 and 9 years old, they're like, I want a cell phone. I'm like, you are not getting a cell phone.
Wendy my wife is like, I would be the most hated mom in the world because I would not let them have a phone. I'm like, yeah, you would be, because every kid is supposed to have a phone now. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, my kids aren't getting it for a while. So we just, it's just not happening. I got enough problems. I don't need a cell phone to be one of them. So.
I hear you. What advice would you give to somebody that says, hey, I don't know what I want to do with my life? What do you tell them?
I mean, you need to intern with people. So, like me, I knew I liked the Western industry, but I didn't know really what direction I wanted. So, like, and try different things. So, like, if you say, I like the automobile industry, go either intern at places or do the shit jobs for different places, whether you are at a tire dealership or a mechanic's place, or me, I worked at like a guest ranch, and then I worked at a breeding farm. Just kind of, it's all stepping stones. You're not going to like go from high school to the good paying job. It's not going to happen. It's all about, another thing is it's all about who you know too. So like make connections. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself to people, and reintroduce yourself to the same people. So like, a good example is John Goodman. I would see him at places, and I would always introduce him, and I would always tell him, be like, hey, if y'all ever had an opening, talk to me. I'd always tell him that. And then when the job finally came open, they remembered that this little wild brunette keeps wanting to take that job, so we better talk to her. So, but that's my biggest deal. It's a who knows who kind of world. Granted, your resume may be nice, but if you don't have the people backing you up, it's hard to get in for anything, really.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like, and I've kind of figured that out with the podcast show has helped me out with that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I kind of started figuring out, going, you know what? I have a show. I have an outlet for people to, if you're trying to sell Aussies or a movie or your comedy show or whatever, I have a platform that can help do that for you.
Oh, yeah.
So you might want to talk to me. Whereas before, when I first started, I was like, why would anyone want to talk to me? I'm just
who is this guy? Yeah.
I'm just Pete going down the road,
I know, and it's all connections. So even my kids' pony riding business, so like they buy and sell ponies, it's all referrals. So as we've gotten to know people, people refer people, and they bring people back to you, and it's just such a close knit. With any industry, if within that industry everything's close knit, and so you just make sure to, always think that somebody's always watching you. So like when you're at these different events, try to stay somewhat poised, I guess. And always make sure to introduce yourself. Don't ever be shy to just talk to somebody, because those connections you make will dang sure pay it forward. So
I've told several reps. Joey in particular, is when you're at NFR, and it's 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, and you think you're off the clock, you got to remember where you're at.
You're still on the clock.
Yeah,
well,
the senior vice president of the company you want to apply for might be right behind you, and you don't know who they are yet because you haven't met them yet.
Well, they might not exactly know who you are, but they'll be like, "What is that guy doing?" And then they'll remember. Then you go in to meet somebody, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, I remember you.
I remember that idiot. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and I had to learn the hard way. Like when you're young, and it's hard when you. It's a learning curve for sure. And when you're in your early 20s, you're out having a good time. You're like, "Oh heck, it'll all pan out eventually." And it does. It will. But you can just kind of help yourself along by trying to remember those things. So
I agree.
So.
Well, I appreciate the time, Jess.
Heck yeah.
I'm glad we talked on our in-between moments.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I'll be calling you on the road this week. So
Exactly. And then I'll see you next week.
Yeah, so, on Monday.
That's how it works. That's probably when this episode's going to drop. Will be next Monday.
Oh, great. I hope I didn't say anything bad. No, I'm just kidding. Use your filters. No.
I'll leave it all in.
Oh, yeah. I didn't cuss too much. We're good.
No, you're solid.
Yeah, I'm good.
But I
So,
appreciate. Hey, what's the best way for people to find out how to reach you as far as your Aussies, your ponies?
So on Facebook, like we have B4 Toy Aussies, which is like the letter B and the number 4 Toy Aussies, and then we also do B4 Ponies. They both have their own page on Facebook and on Instagram. So yeah,
you're getting fancy on us.
I know. I'm trying to figure it all out, but we'll see. But yeah, that's how we keep everything sorted for the most part.
That's what you got to do.
Oh yeah. So
well, I appreciate the time though.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Jess.